Jace Denman here for Flag Family Media with MSUM head coach Steve Laqua. Coach, another big victory, another dominant performance, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense obviously stepped up as well. What were the keys to victory last weekend against McKendree?
I think there was a lot of them. I think a fast start was very important. I think we talked about that last week. And offense scored, defense gets some stops. I think really we kind of took momentum there at the end of the first half. We get a defensive stop roughly about midfield with a minute to go, and then we have a flawless 2-minute drive, march it down, score right before the half. I don't know that was necessarily a backbreaker, but I think that was maybe the domino that tilted it for us heavily.
Now, we got to get right into this. You're playing against Augustana, a 3-0 team, a team that's towards the top of the conference this season. What are going to be keys to beating Augustana, especially on the road?
Well, I think some is confidence, right? They've had our number here the last few years, and so I think walking into the field in a game, there's got to be a level of confidence and belief that we can find a way to win. And so then you go, and it's their homecoming, it's their 100th Vikings Day. We've got to make sure we have a good start and try and get the crowd out of it. It's a hostile place to play. They've got a lot of crowd, very energetic, very passionate, so we got to make sure we get a good start again, offensively and defensively, and special teams hopefully can be a part of that too. Just get some momentum on our side so we can just kind of get the ball rolling early.
When you look at Augustana, both offensively and defensively, they look to kind of go to the spread formation a little bit like you guys do. Got a big graduate student quarterback back there. So obviously, number one, talk about their offense and what kind of difficulties that possesses for your defense, and then offensively, a defense that likes to run nickel formation a lot with that extra cornerback out there. Talk about some of the things you have to try and take advantage of against that Augustana defense.
Yeah, well, their offense is explosive. They've got playmakers on the outside, and so they can kind of hit you with the deep pass at any point in time. So you got to really try and protect that against it and not leave yourself susceptible with one-on-one coverage. But then they're so dominant in line with their running backs, their offensive line. They do such a great job of being physical inside the box. And so we got to be able to try and stop the run. And that's the key. If they can be comfortable running the football and getting their consistent yards, then we're going to have a hard time. And so we're going to have to find a way to get them off schedule, stop the run. For us offensively, they do a phenomenal job playing against the pass. They do not give you easy throws to get into a rhythm, and they take away the run. And so you got to try and find ways to manufacture yards. Traditionally, we've really struggled to get in a rhythm from a quarterback standpoint because their DBs they're disruptive, they're on top of you, and so we got to find a way to get guys open, to get in a rhythm, but we also got to get some run game going on to create a little bit of balance for us early so there's not so much pressure just on the pass game.
Exactly, and with potential for rain and maybe some thunderstorms down there this weekend, does that pose any more difficulties? Not so much maybe for the receivers. They got the receiver gloves, very tacky, very easy for them to catch passes. Is that going to pose some problems potentially for Jack at quarterback, especially because I haven't seen him yet this season wear a glove?
Well, wet football is always a problem, and it's not just necessarily the quarterback making the throw, it's the center being able to get it snapped in the shotgun without that thing slipping out of there. And so definitely would be a concern for us. It's something that we're gonna have to navigate through. And you know what, I tell the staff and everybody, I don't get too worried about the weather until about day of the game. Then it seems like whatever the forecast and whatever the weatherman says day of, probably pretty accurate. Right now we're like, we're gonna cross our fingers and hopefully they're wrong and we're gonna have beautiful sunny skies.
Game on the road, this first time you've been on the road since going down to Wayne. Is this a little bit easier as far as managing the travel? I mean, you guys aren't going down the day of? Are you guys going down the day before? Does it throw you out of your normal weekly schedule?
This is probably a better travel trip than Wayne was, because Wayne was a night game on the road, and so it's a long time sitting around in a hotel and find something to do all day until 6 p.m. This is, hey, you get up in the morning, you have your walkthrough, you have your team meeting, your breakfast, and you basically are getting ready to roll. The game's kicking off at 1 o'clock, and that's pretty typical. And so this is probably a better logistical trip than the Wayne game was for us.
All right. Well, Coach, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got meetings and stuff to prepare for Augustana, so obviously best of luck this week down in Sioux Falls against Augie. We'll be there covering you guys, and we look forward to hopefully another Dragon victory.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, I'm Jace Denman with Flag Family Media, and we'll talk to you later.